What is going on, everybody? This is your man, Big B, Brian Hanley. Welcome to Steelers Almighty Training Camp Edition. We are live here on this Saturday morning, people. It's good. It feels good to be a Pittsburgh Steeler fan. It is good to be a Pittsburgh Steeler fan. Last night, Friday Night Lights. Look, we learned a lot. We learned a lot. So we're going to discuss some of those things. The defense is literally taking over this practice. Now, you always knew that it would, especially as high priced as it is, but it is taking over and took over again last night. We'll talk about that. Broderick Jones, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not even going to say nothing. We'll get to Broderick Jones when it's time to get to Broderick Jones. And our man, Caleb Johnson, starting to make some strides, some stuff that Mike Tomlin said about him it has me encouraged, and you could see it last night. You could see it. So I'm encouraged by what we're seeing out of Caleb Johnson. So lots more things to talk about. We'll get into that. Those are the three main topics. We appreciate all you Steeler fans for getting up this morning and joining us. Like I mentioned earlier or yesterday, we will talk about this today, Friday Night Lights, but the Steelers are practicing again today. So we will be on again today at 5 Eastern, 4 Central to let you guys know exactly what happened in today's practice. I suspect that they are going to be padded up again. I think Mike Tomlin's like, we got to get after it a little bit, whether you're a veteran or not. Maybe veterans might have the day off. We'll see what happens. But they're going to have to get after it a little bit. So I look forward to seeing what happens today. But yeah, it was a good practice last night. Over 13,000 people showed up for a practice, ladies and gentlemen. A practice. That's the kind of craziness and excitement that Pittsburgh Steeler fans bring to the table. So we'll get into all of that. Appreciate you guys being in here. As always, remember, if you want to help support the channel, super chats are wide open. Members are obviously here. My man Vaughn, what is going on? My man S. Palmer is in the house. Where you at, S. Palmer? What's going on? Good morning, good morning, good morning to everybody. Thank you guys for being in here. We appreciate you guys showing up early. I had my coffee. About 45 minutes ago, so I'm amped. So, but we got to get into some Pittsburgh Steeler talk, people. So let's do it. First off, the defense ruled the day yesterday. The defense absolutely took apart the offense in a lot of ways. It's expected, but they just kind of dominate. I mean, the offense kind of had some stuff going on early on in practice, but then it went away. The defense just kind of put its foot down and just choked it all away. My man S. Palmer with the first super chat of the day. Thank you. We appreciate you. Let's go. Absolutely. So that's kind of what we got there. It's defense. The secondary is kind of doing its thing. We got to see some yesterday because it was a padded practice. So the offensive line, did okay. Not great. We'll get to somebody who didn't look great. But offensive line, for the most part, again, looked okay. But the defense is just better than the offense right now. They're just better. And, without game planning and all that kind of stuff, this defense, look, I understand it's still early in training camp. I know we're 2 weeks in. Let's just call it 2 weeks. It's not quite 2 weeks yet, but let's just call it 2 weeks in. Defense is always supposed to be better. Offense, again, we've mentioned it several times. They just kind of throwing things against the wall right now, trying to get things to work. And they're implementing a lot of stuff. But in the 11-on-11 periods, when it's time to run the football or move the football, the offense can't do it. So the defenses look good. Jalen Ramsey all over the place. Yesterday was the best day from our man Darius Slay. Darius Slay just basically, you're not going to run any route. He ran a route. He was covering in a one-on-one Roman Wilson. Roman Wilson tried to run a comeback. You don't know which guy was actually running the route. Like if you were just out there and you didn't see the snap of the ball and then you turned your head to look, you wouldn't know who was running the route and who was the defender. That's how good Darius Slay was on Roman Wilson. Now, you could say, well, if Roman Wilson's not getting any separation, well, okay. But he ran a comeback, and you had no idea who was running a route. You know, good. It was just a good day for the defense yesterday. Just a good day overall. Alex Highsmith looked absolutely incredible. We'll get to who he looked incredible against. We'll get to that. We'll get to that. But Alex Highsmith looked incredible. Just the defense in general, ton of pressure. Didn't let the offense run in the 11-on-11 run game drill. They couldn't move the ball. Although one guy did. They were able to run it one time, and we'll talk about that a little later. A running back out there starting to look a little good, starting to get better. Starting to get better. So we'll talk about that. But yeah, overall, it was just a defensive day. Again. So I think we have to start now. There's two things as far as trains of thought here. One, our defense is really good. Our defense is fast, physical, athletic, and deep. That's exactly what you want out of defense. Fast, physical, athletic, and deep. That's what you want. The Steelers have that. Okay. Or your train of thought could be, oh man, our offense is just really bad. I guess the third thought could be, it could be both. It could be both. I'm gonna hold off saying the offense is bad until later. I'm going to hold off because, again, no game planning. We're still just out there just kind of throwing stuff against the wall. So I'm not sure just yet exactly. Steelbit, what's going on? We got a brand new member, ladies and gentlemen. We appreciate you supporting the channel, Mr. Steelbit. Thank you very much, brother. We appreciate you. We appreciate you. Big G looks like he's in the chat. What's going on, Big G? Appreciate you being in here. So, but that's the thing. I'm going to hold off on calling the offense terrible just yet because, again, they're doing a lot of different things and they're just trying to see what works. Mike Tomlin admitted that earlier today, or not today, yesterday. He said, this time of year, the defense is always going to look better than the offense, and he's right because, hell, we said that. We're all right. The chat, you all said it. I said it. Everybody, they're going to be better. The offense is in implementation mode right now. I said that too, is that they're putting in stuff and trying to get a familiarity with it. Defense, yeah, you have to be in the right place and you have to be, running to the football and executing. But, offense, there's so many intricate parts to a play working that it's repetition. That's why they do it. That's why you practice. You got to get over and over. And if they do this, you do that. And it just takes a little bit of time for that cohesiveness to get together. And that's kind of what we're dealing with right now, some cohesiveness. Let's get into the comments section first off, talking about this defense a little bit. My man, Sonny G says our defense is arguably the best in the league. It's iron sharpening iron right now. Our defense being so good is going to make our offense better. Bingo. 100%. 100%. It is going to make the offense better, or it's just going to make the offense look pathetic. One of the two. I got to believe that as professionals going against other professionals, that's going to that are that good, it's going to make you better. That's just my personal feelings on the matter. So that's my personal feelings. And yeah, this defense, Vaughn, top 5 or less. Top 5 or less. I'm not settling. And here's the thing, people. I just want to make sure that everybody's clear. I'm not going to let anybody, when we start doing more live shows and in comments, I'm not going to let you guys settle for less than a top 5 defense. So I suggest just get on board with it. Just get on board with me that the Steelers need to have a top 5 defense. I don't care if they're 6th and the difference is a percentage point separates them from 6th to 4th. I don't care. Top 5 or better. I'm not bending. I don't care. I'm not bending. I'm not giving any grace to this defense. No grace. Paying you that kind of money, damn it. I need top 5. End of story. End of story. So, Henry, we're not going to do that here. Not on this channel, brother. We don't need to disparage people for getting hurt. We're not going to do that. So if that's what you feel like you need to do, I understand, but I just won't engage with you. So let's see here. You know, Wilson and CA3 are learning the hard way. I mean, that you're on to something there, Mr. Mark Malone. You're on to something. They're getting a master class in what it's like to go against the best cornerbacks in the league. It's only going to make them better. It's only going to make them better. So that's the thing. It's only going to make them better. So, and I get what you're trying to say, Henry Johnson. You're mad that Corey Trice keeps getting hurt. Okay, do you think he wants to get hurt? Do you think he's like, man, you know what? I'm going to go out here today and rip my hamstring. That's not what he did. Doesn't mean the Steelers have to deal with it. Doesn't mean that. You know, I totally understand. Doesn't mean that we have to deal with it. But I'm just not going to call the man names because he got hurt. I'm just not going to do that. So, and I just have no room, no patience for people to do that. We're trying to help. I mean, the man is trying. He just, sometimes your body will tell you, hey, man, football's not for you. And I think Corey Trice may be going through that right now. So I think Corey Trice is probably going through that how many times does he have to get hurt? I mean, his body is telling him, you blew out your knee. You blew it out again. Your hamstring gets torn. You tear it again. At some point, you still have to start listening to your body because it's telling you maybe this isn't for you, you know, which is sad. It's a sad thing. But again, just because it's sad doesn't mean that the Steelers have to deal with it. And we said it all along, Corey Trice, we like his ability, but and that's why everybody's like, well, you can't trust Corey Trice. You're damn right you can't trust him. But the Steelers were giving him an opportunity because they know what his ability is. But when your ability is overshadowed by your unavailability, then the Steelers got to move on. And that's going to happen. I mean, it's going to happen. It's unfortunate, but it's going to happen. But we don't have to kick the guy in the face on the way out the door. We don't need to do that. That's all. We don't need to do that. Let's see. What else do we got here? Trice is always hurt. Just because he's always hurt doesn't mean you have to kick him in the face going out the door. We know he's always hurt, Kennedy. We get it. We get it. So we understand. I'm just not going to be the guy. Now, if you guys want to just bash him, okay. I'm not telling you can. Who the hell am I? I just don't engage in that. That's all. I don't engage in that. John Pennington. All it's going to take is one big hit on Rodgers from the left side where Jones is, and there goes the season. Well, isn't that all it takes from any quarterback from any side? I mean, it isn't that all it takes for any quarterback? One play. So I guess I don't understand, John. You act like Aaron Rodgers is the only quarterback that's one play from being hurt. Every single quarterback in the league is one play from being hurt. So, I mean, I don't know. Do you think that the Kansas City Chiefs are going to win without Patrick Mahomes? Do you think they're going to win with their backup quarterback? You know, do you think that the Eagles are going to win with their backup quarterback? Do you think the Buffalo Bills are going to win with their backup quarterback? Every quarterback is only a play away. So you can't emphasize that with Aaron Rodgers, you know. My man Alonzo Dunn with the super chat said, yes, CA3 is gaining toughness. Roman only has college experience. He fell straight into the fire. Well, Roman fell straight into the fire. I mean, again, as another guy that got hurt. And the Steelers are giving him an opportunity. And the one thing is, at least he's not hurt. So we can see what we have. That's what they were trying to do with Corey Trice. Let's see what we got. The man can't stay healthy. He can't stay healthy. So it stinks, but it is what it is. So it is what it is. Let's see here. But that's what's going on there. I guess I can't avoid this anymore. I was trying to avoid it. I was trying to push this off as much as possible. But I guess, well, let me get with this. Henry says these are pro athletes, not Pop Warner. I go, harsh criticism comes with the territory. Well, you're not criticizing him. Like if you were criticizing his play, I think everybody criticizes people's play. Everybody gives harsh criticism when somebody stinks, which is what we are literally about to do. But you're talking about a man not being able to stay healthy. I don't know. You do what you want. I'm not your God. I'm not your boss. I'm not anything. I just don't engage in that and won't on the channel. That's all. You want to talk about how bad somebody is and how bad they're playing? We'll get into that, which is what we're about to get into right now. Broderick Jones, ladies and gentlemen. Let me collect my thoughts on Broderick Jones. So there were people, again, there were insiders that were trying to give Broderick Jones grace. They were trying to give him an excuse and say that he wasn't healthy out there. And y'all know how I feel about that. I don't expect your best, but I damn sure don't expect your worst if you're hurt. My thing is, there's no way the Steelers would have let Broderick Jones just go out there and compete in 7 shots, and compete in one-on-one drills if they didn't think that he was healthy enough to do it. I mean, yesterday was August 1st? They're not going to do that, man. So he was healthy enough to be good enough to do something. And I don't know. The producer asked me, do you want to label Broderick Jones a bust? And I don't want to label him just yet. And maybe I'm being naive. And if I'm being naive in the chat, just say, B, you're being naive. And I can live with that. I don't want to call him a bust yet because we haven't played real games. But I know a lot of you out there, and I don't disagree, are saying we don't want it to get to real games. We don't want him out there for real games. What am I supposed to say to that? Like, how am I supposed to argue with you on that? Like, what am I supposed to say? Oh, you don't know what you're talking about. You got to let him play first. Well, we're watching him in practice. Alex Highsmith yesterday made Broderick Jones in O-line one-on-ones pass rush. He made him look like a high school kid that the first time he's been on the varsity. He embarrassed him to no degree on 3 straight plays. What else do you want me to say? What else I can't defend that. He looked horrible. Now, the only saving grace that I will give you is that in that type of setting, when it's one-on-one pass rush drills, there's no room for a guy to even have to play the run. So that's the whole thing, not going to play the run. So all they're doing is pinning their ears back. But let me ask you this, ladies and gentlemen. Aren't there plenty of times in a National Football League game where it's 3rd and 8 and the team is going to pass the football when it's an obvious passing down? Don't defensive ends, edge rushers, don't they pin their ears back? They're not even thinking about the run. That happens a lot in a National Football game. National League football game, excuse me. So, oh, man. And like I said, I was hoping that this will get better. I'm just not going to say that he's a bust just yet, but we'll see. We'll see. So, I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait till actual games. And again, if I'm being naive, I'm being naive. So, John Collins says, not going to bust your chops because I, along with a lot of Steelers nations, had been hoping that he lives up to his abilities. But sometimes it just doesn't work out. You're exactly right. For whatever reason, it just doesn't work out, which it seems to be the exact opposite of what our man Henry Johnson says, because he's saying, as I said, Broderick was ruined by the Steelers. He'll fulfill his promise elsewhere. So the Steelers are making him play bad? I don't know. I mean, and I know we want to blame everything on coaching, but Broderick's effort last year didn't have anything to do with coaching. You know, it didn't have everything to do with coaching. And I know we bring up the one example where a Steelers offensive lineman got better when he left. And Dodson is good. There ain't no question he's good. And maybe it just didn't work out for whatever reason. Maybe it was the coaching. But, I mean, Broderick Jones is not a good player right now. He's not a good player. Nobody said that Kevin Dotson was bad. The difference is Kevin Dotson wasn't a first-round pick. Broderick Jones was, and so Broderick is being labeled a bust. Nobody said Kevin Dotson was a bust. Maybe it just took longer for him to actually develop into being a good player, which is why he wasn't a first-round pick. Steelers didn't wait. He got better. Pretty simple. And Broderick Jones, first-round pick, maybe it's going to take him longer to develop. I mean, he's just 20. What is he, 24, I believe? 23, 24 years old. It's not like he's 30, you know. And a lot of times people believe that you have to be fully developed by the time you hit the National Football League. Sometimes people develop later than others. That's all. I don't want to just, I know the coaching isn't good at Pittsburgh. Pat Meyer, I don't have any faith in him at all. But I don't think the Steelers ruined Broderick Jones because, again, Broderick was fine his rookie year. He was just fine. So I could see if he got here, he never played well. He always played bad. And maybe the coaching didn't help him. Same coaching staff. He played fine his rookie year, and now he's not. And now he's not. That's all I'm saying. I'm not going to blame. I mean, like we've seen it so many times. Maybe he's just not good. So, and maybe he's just not good. But here's another thing. I said it all last year when we did our all 22 breakdowns. There were some of you all that were subscribed to the channel that saw it, and we would be on the same thing every week. It's like, Broderick's just not giving the effort. He's just not giving effort, you know? And it's not that Broderick doesn't have the ability, because I've said this several times, and I'll continue to say it. When he does it right, when Broderick does it right, he's incredible. You just don't see it enough. So what are you supposed to do? If that's not the coach, I know what you're saying. Well, the coach should be able to bring it out of him all the time. You are right, but maybe there's some guys that just don't have that. Maybe there's some guys out there that, you know what? I made it. That's good enough for me. I made it to the NFL. That's good enough for me. I don't know. I don't know what the problem is. What I do know is that we're not seeing good football. That's all I'm saying. We're just not seeing good football out of Broderick Jones. And it's becoming frustrating. So, it's becoming frustrating. Hollywood says maybe Pat Meyer isn't developing the O-line, but we got to stop making excuses for Broderick. That is the perfect statement. Perfect statement. Because two things can absolutely be true. Pat Meyer could be the worst offensive line coach in the league. Okay? If that's the route we want to go, I'm not going to argue with you. But also, we got to stop making excuses for Broderick. Because first it was he's out of position. Then he's hurt. Well, now he's not hurt or in the wrong position. I mean, and I know it's preseason. I know it's early, but at some point, we got to start seeing some stuff. So I'm not going to call it a bust yet. I'm not going to do that yet. We got time, but I don't know. I don't know. So that's it. Big G, he says, time to look at options at the tackle. So flip Troy and let Anderson. Well, and here's the thing. Calvin Anderson hasn't looked bad at left tackle. Calvin Anderson, when he's got in now, he got hurt yesterday. So they haven't come out with anything on what his injury is, but he got hurt at the end of practice yesterday. But Calvin Anderson has looked good. He's looked good. Surprised the hell out of me because I saw him play a couple snaps last season, and he looked like a guy with a deer in the headlights and had no business being on a football field. Seems like that's changed a little bit. So, seems like that may have changed a little bit. So I don't think the Steelers are interested in flipping Troy right now. I thought they would, but it doesn't seem like they're interested in doing that they like Calvin Anderson right now. We'll see if that changes, and let Calvin Anderson and Dylan Cook, let them battle it out for left tackle. It appears the Steelers are okay doing that. We'll see. We'll see. So Jack says we have all seen great players not live up to their potential purposely so they can go somewhere else. Things can make you go home. I mean, that's a slippery slope of not living up to potential so I can go somewhere else because let's just say I play bad so I can get out of there. There isn't a guarantee that somebody's going to call you. So I don't know if people don't necessarily live up to their potential on purpose. Maybe they just don't live up to it. A change of scenery helps them live up. But this is the performance-based business. You say, I'm just going to tank on the Steelers and say, screw it. I get to somewhere else because what if nobody calls? Because you played bad and they're like, yeah, we don't want that guy. And nobody calls you. So I don't know if people do that on purpose. I get what you're saying, but I don't know that that's what's happening in general. I just don't know that. So my man Mason with the super chat, thanks for supporting the channel. He said he wouldn't be surprised if he wants out of Pittsburgh and this contributing to his mental lapse. Truth be told, why does he want out of Pittsburgh? Like, why does Broderick Jones want out of Pittsburgh? Why would he want out of Pittsburgh? I mean, he doesn't like the city, doesn't like it being cold. I mean, I don't know. I mean, they've given him starting jobs. They've given him an opportunity to start. What else do you want? I mean, he started at two separate positions. But last year, he got beat out by Troy Fautanu at right tackle. But then he had to play because Fautanu got hurt twice. And he didn't play left tackle, but that was the Steelers doing. But whatever. I mean, maybe he wants out. I don't know. It wouldn't make sense that he does. But, and being closer to home, well, I mean, I think he's from Georgia. What if the Falcons don't want him? And by the way, have you seen the Falcons' offensive line? They don't need Broderick Jones. they don't need Broderick Jones at all. So, you can want to be closer to home, but Atlanta ain't calling him. I mean, they don't need him at all. To what? Be a backup? I'm assuming he doesn't want to be a backup. So, Broderick, I don't know if he took the job from Chooks or Chooks made some comments on the sideline, because Chooks was a bad football player. Let's just get that out there. He was bad. And then they said, if you're going to be bad and badmouth us, we're going to put in this rookie. And by the way, Broderick played better than Chooks did too. So there's that. There is that. Alonzo Dunn says, are we hyping over Micah Parsons wanting out of Dallas? I mean, I don't know. So we'll see. We will see. Mark Malone says that Calvin Anderson was almost dead from malaria not too long before we signed him. He may not have been back to full strength last year. That is 100% the truth. 100% the truth. And Dylan Cook was hurt all last year. So maybe they're not as bad as what I'm saying they are. I hope that's the case. I hope that's the case. So we'll see. My man, Digital Dust said our offensive line is the biggest question mark for me. Starts with Jones. Absolutely. So the only thing we can do is just hope that he gets better, man. We got to hope. It hadn't happened yet. It hadn't happened. So next up, man, our man Caleb Johnson appears to be getting better, ladies and gentlemen. Caleb Johnson appears to be getting better. Started out rough in backs versus backers. He went 0-4 his first 4 reps. Hadn't lost one since. He's starting to get better. The more familiarity. And last night, I think he would have won the first rep with Malik Hairston, but I think he was so aggressive to try to redeem himself from the first day that yesterday, the first rep, he just lunged and was all out of position. And it's like, no, you can't do that. And then he handled Mark Robinson a couple of times. He's getting better. And Mike Tomlin kind of attributed to that and just said the more he does it, the better he's going to be because the guy's a worker. He's a worker. And we've seen it. We've seen the clips, and we've seen, him working before practice, in practice, after practice, at his pass protection, And the one thing about it is today is August 2nd. It doesn't have to be picture perfect today. It just needs to be going in the right direction. You can't be taking steps back. So that's the difference. That's the difference. So, I'm looking in the chat. People are wanting to get rid of Patrick Queen. That'd be a mistake. Yeah, that would be a mistake. We can get into that here in a minute. Talking about Micah Parsons. But more reps that Caleb Johnson gets, the better. His running very fluid. He looks good out there running the football. The more he gets more familiar, the better he's going to be, man. So the more that he runs the football and the more that he gets into pass protection, the better he is going to be. The better he's going to be. So I think the preseason games are going to be huge for him. I really do. And a lot of times you think, well, you don't want every. Well, he's not a frontline guy just yet. He's not a frontline guy. And if we were talking about if the Steelers played a game today, I think Gainwell would be ahead of Johnson as far as reps were concerned. If the Steelers played, they had a game tonight, I think Gainwell would get more reps on the field than Caleb Johnson would right now. Which, okay, it is what it is. It is what it is. So we'll see what happens down the road. We'll see. Yeah, we'll just see what happens. But I think Caleb Johnson is going to continue to get better. He's going to continue to fight and continue to work on his craft. And then we'll go from there. We'll go from there. Henry Johnson said Harrison and Mark Robb, they play with a mean streak. You'd be pissed if either gets cut before Holcomb. We haven't heard a ton about Holcomb just yet. But I kind of said the same thing, Henry, going into camp. It's like, it's a good story. I love Holcomb, but, I mean, is he back 100%? Is he the guy? Like I said, he's more of a depth piece. But Harrison, I think, is going to make the football team. And I think he's a guy that's going to play before Holcomb anyway. But we'll see. We'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens. I don't know if I'm going to be pissed. We'll see. We'll see. I'm just not positive that Holcomb is all the way back. I'm just not positive of that yet. We haven't seen a whole lot to say that he's back yet. we haven't seen a ton of that. But I like where Caleb Johnson's going as far as his work. Now, a lot of people have been asking about. Now this is a good question. Lion O said, if Troy F is excelling, is Pat Meyer really the problem? And that's the whole thing when it always goes back to coaching and developing players. Because people for years have always screamed and said that Mike Tomlin, that he can't develop this, he can't develop that. Well, Minka Fitzpatrick played for him. He was pretty good. TJ Watt, Cam Hayward played for him. Those guys are Hall of Fame football players. Did Mike Tomlin not have anything to do with that? It's like you badmouth him when a guy doesn't work out, says he can't develop, but then you have 2 Hall of Fame players, but I guess he didn't have anything to do with that. It's like, come on, man. We got to be fair. Give them the criticism, but also give them the praise when they do something right. Not enough people want to do that. And that's exactly right. Troy Fautanu is kicking ass. As long as he can stay healthy, he has basically kicked ass from day one. How many interviews do we have to see from TJ Watt saying the guy's not a big hulking guy, but he's absolutely super strong and he's super athletic. He makes me work every rep. I mean, what else do you want? Well, he was just naturally good. Come on, man. You can't say that. At some point, you have to say, guys, okay, yes, he didn't develop him. But these other guys are getting better. Like Zach Frazier. Did he not help develop that guy? I mean, it can't all be bad, man. We gotta. I understand the frustration. Trust me, I get it. But fans are short for fanatic. I'm one of those people too. So I'm not trying to separate myself, but we have to be fair. And that's why I try to build on the channel. I try to be fair and just say, you can't just blame Mike Tomlin for every bad thing that happens with the Steelers. But when something good happens, he gets no credit. Well, then you just don't like Mike Tomlin. Just come out and say that, and then I can't take you seriously. Same thing with Pat Meyer. Me included, blame Pat Meyer for everything. But when there's good plays and good players that get developed, I then can't turn around and say, well, they would have been good no matter who the coach was. That's not being fair. That is not being fair. So, and again, I don't think Pat Meyer's a good football coach. I've said it on many occasions, but that doesn't mean that he hasn't helped develop good players. 2 things can always be true, people. 2 things can always be true. So that's it. Digital says that this is the super team year. Only one shot with A-Rod and the vets. I wouldn't say that. I mean, Jalen Ramsey's going to be around for a minute. Jonnu Smith probably going to be around for a minute. Now, Darius Slay may not be. We'll see about Cam. I mean, Cam acts like he wants to play till infinity. So we'll see what happens. I wouldn't say now A-Rod's not going to be around, but yeah, there'll be some guys that are around at least 2 or 3 more years. So we'll see what happens. Fautanu wasn't jerked around and flip-flopped. So, plus Troy already missed a full year. Let's keep it real. Well, Troy missed a full year. I don't understand what him missing a full year has to do with any of that. And he wasn't flip-flop around. Well, he started the Steelers camp at left tackle, and they moved him to right because he said he preferred to play right tackle. So I guess that's kind of flipping him around. I mean, he played in college at left tackle, and then he moved to right tackle. So I don't know. That's just me talking, though. That's just me talking. But him being hurt, I don't see what that has to do with anything. I mean, he got hurt. That wasn't the coach's fault that he got hurt. So, and I'm assuming that we're not saying him getting hurt has anything to do with how well he's playing, because that doesn't make sense. So, until Troy plays 6 full real games, he hasn't excelled. That's fair. That's fair. I mean, until he's out there, I mean, what are we going to say? Well, he played great in camp. He played good that one game that he played, but he's excelling. He's done well. That's fair. Now, those things are true, but until we see it on the field, you can be the best practice player in all the free world. If it doesn't equate to you being on the field being that, nobody cares. So that is true. Until we see Troy being out there, then we can't say. So it's not just your opinion, my man. That's a good opinion. It can be just your opinion, but that's a good opinion. It's a good statement because we got to see it. We got to see it. So, and I would go further than 6. I wouldn't even say 6. Give me half the season. Give me half the season. And then we can talk about it. But then again, if he turns around and gets hurt after 8 games, that ain't going to matter a whole lot either. So, but I get your point. It's a good point. It's a real good point. So, do you believe the organization will re-sign Myers after the season is over or move on from him? Man, I don't know. I don't know. We've seen it a couple times where the Steelers just haven't renewed guys' contracts. We'll see what happens. We will see what happens. I would hope that the Steelers find somebody else that's better, but I don't know. And please don't get in the comments talking about Mike Munchak. Please, please, just save your energy for somebody that actually coaches football. He doesn't coach football and hasn't in several years. So that's not happening. So just don't waste your time. There's no reason. No reason at all. Omar's first pick isn't looking good. No, it's not. It's not looking good. It's not looking good right now. But let's get into this. Y'all asked in the chat. Micah Parsons asking for a trade. The Steelers are the second best odds as far as getting Micah Parsons. Did y'all realize that? Plus 600. He's got the second best odds, or the Steelers have the second best odds of trading for Micah Parsons. Hear me out. Alex Highsmith, Jalen Warren, 4th round pick, give me Micah Parsons, and then give me $42 million a year. I would do that before if the Dallas Cowboys called the Steelers and said that, I would say yes before they even got it all out of their mouth. I'm telling you that right now. I'm telling you that right this very second. If they said, give me Alex Highsmith, give me Jalen Warren and a 4th round pick, and you can have Micah Parsons. I mean, shoot. And then Micah Parsons gets to play his natural position, which is outside linebacker. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Wouldn't even be able to get it all out of their mouth before I said yes. So that would be my only thing. Now, the flip side to this is the Dallas Cowboys would be one of the dumbest, or now don't get me wrong, they are one of the dumbest organizations in football, but they would be absolutely insane if they trade Micah Parsons. Jeez, I don't care what he says. They would be ignorant. So Colbert picked KP as he was in charge of the draft, not Omar. Okay. I don't know. Mason says, yeah. I'd pack them up in a heartbeat. Absolutely. You got TJ Watt on one side, Micah Parsons on another side. You know, I'll take my chances. I'll take my chances, ladies and gentlemen. I'll take my chances. Gee, and again, there's a paying element to this too. I would give Micah Parsons $42 million a year. I 100% would do it. Absolutely, without question, without thinking about it. 100%. Now, I mean, is there anything to think about? I don't know. So, and Digital says that Jones will sign Micah. Oh, no, hold on. I'm not saying that the Cowboys aren't going to sign Micah Parsons, that this is all for media. This is all something drawn out. Hell, you don't even know that Jerry Jones didn't go to Micah Parsons and said, hey, man, release this statement to the public. We want to garner some attention here. You don't know, because I don't put that past him. Don't put it past him. So there's no way that Micah Parsons doesn't end up in Dallas, even if that means he's got to pay him $45 million a year. But Alonzo Dunn says, I'm with Warren, Highsmith, and a second. It's not horrible. It's not horrible. I'm just saying. So, yeah. Now, that's a good point, Milton. We can't allow the Ratbirds to get Micah Parsons. Because I'll say this right here and right now, and I will be very confident in saying this. If the Baltimore Ravens were able to trade for Micah Parsons, there's no way we can beat them. I'll just tell you that right now. I mean, it's already tough enough and going to be tough enough. But if the Baltimore Ravens were somehow able to get Micah Parsons, we're not going to be able to beat them. Which is horrible to say, but it's the truth. So we'll see. 43, man, it's a preseason game. I have no clue what the odds of the Steelers are winning that game. I'll be honest with you, and I'll say this with my chest out. People that bet on preseason games, you got a problem, man. You got to go get checked. There's no reason anybody should be betting on preseason games, man. No reason at all. You don't know who's going to play, how long. There's no reason that anybody should be betting real money on a preseason game. There ain't no damn way. I don't know about you. I'm not putting my money on guys that are going to be working for FedEx in 2 weeks. I'm just not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. So, Cowboys traded 2 firsts for Roy Williams a few years back. They did. That was a while back. So let's see. So we'll see. We will see. No way any organization lets an ongoing GM solely pick a franchise QB. Colbert is the fall guy in case he was busted out. I mean, does anybody believe that Colbert was the only guy who signed off on baby hands? Like, I mean, maybe there are some people out there that believe that. They would be nuts, Kennedy Jones. I can tell you that right now. If anybody is out there trying to say that Kevin Colbert was the only guy that signed off on baby hands Pickett, you're out of your damn mind. Yeah, I mean, that didn't happen. Now, maybe he was the driving force behind it all. Okay. But Mike Tomlin signed off. Art Rooney signed off. Come on, people. But it's kind of like the quarterback position. With great reward, in certain, you get all the credit and you get all the blame. Because did Kevin Colbert draft TJ Watt? Was he the only person who signed off on him? No, but he gets credit for it, though, doesn't he? Yes. So it's the same thing. And maybe that's a way of trying to bash Tomlin and say that he was part of it too. But okay. That's fine. No reports say Omar. Omar wasn't running the draft in 2022 or 2020 when Baby Hands was drafted. Colbert ran the draft. Everybody knows that. That's not a secret. But just because he ran the draft doesn't mean that he was the only guy that signed off on the picks. You're crazy if you'd think Mike Tomlin didn't have any say in that. Come on, we know better than that. So no, Cody, there's nothing to think about with that deal. Let's see. Alonzo Dunn with the super chat and Micah Parsons' dream super chat. Miss Felicia says Jerry Jones is not that smart. You wouldn't think so. We'll see. We'll see. So, we'll see. Mm-mm-mm-mm. No, Khan didn't pick Pickett. You got to stop Kennedy. I get it. That's what you want to do. That's the route you want to go. He didn't. Because here's the thing. If Colbert wasn't going to be in charge of the draft, then why was he still employed? Like, what was the point of staying on? I mean, you know. So what was the point of staying on? But I get it. That's your way of wanting to bash Khan. I get it. So you'll die on that hill. I appreciate it though. Ooh, Sonny has a good point. Can we flip that around and say if we trade for Micah, ain't nobody beating us? I mean, here's the thing. If the Steelers made that trade that we talked about, we still got to put some points up, but it would be very tough for teams to be putting points on us. It would be real tough. Real tough. So, but even without them, I think the Steelers have a top 5 defense, or it better be. Or it better be. So, it better be a top 5 defense. So, and that's a good point, Digital. That's why Khan traded him so fast, because he wasn't his guy. I mean, that's pretty much the deal. If I drafted a guy and after 2 years, if he was my guy, I'm not trading that guy after 2 years. Like, for what? Why would I trade him? It doesn't make any sense. But he didn't, and he wasn't. So they moved on. It's pretty simple. But okay. And I'm not gonna even deal in that anymore. People, they've got their ways. They just want to blame people, but that's fine. Do you think that Micah, if we could be closer to a top 3, if the Steelers get Micah Parsons with that trade, the Steelers better be the top defense, not top 3. They better be the top defense, Mr. Vaughn. The top defense. So that's the difference. But there's the thing about it is, again, this is just hoping and dreaming. We're just having fun. There's no way that Micah Parsons is getting traded. I want to make that abundantly clear. There is no way that he is getting traded. No way. But we can dream. We can have fun and we can dream, but there's no way that that's happening. No way. No way. So it's closer. If there's a better chance of the Cowboys coming out saying they're paying Micah Parsons $55 million a year than there is of him being traded away. So just think about that for a second. There's a better chance of the Cowboys saying, nope, we're going to give them $55 million a year for 5 years with $250 million guaranteed than there is of him getting traded. So we just got to pump the brakes. We got to pump the brakes. It's good to have fun. It's good to dream, but that's just not going to happen. That's just not going to happen. So, and to be honest with you, the Steelers' defense is fine. It's fine. So they just got to continue to get better. Continue to get better. So that's all it is. That is all that it is. So, yeah, I get it, Vaughn. We're trying. We're dreaming. So, Charles Johnson just became a member, man. We appreciate you, man. Thanks for supporting the channel, Charles. Thank you very much. We appreciate you. We appreciate you. So, that's all I got for you guys today, man. We will be back later today at 5 Steelers practice. We'll be back at 5 Eastern, 4 Central. talking about what happened today at practice. Hopefully, the offense can fight back. That's what I'm hoping for. Hopefully, the offense can fight back and they look a little bit better today. So, thank you guys as always. Appreciate you. And we will talk to you later on this evening, man. Thank you guys for showing up. Love you guys. And aloha.